Hello there.
Oh, I've immediately got a choice to make here, haven't I? Thomas Swords, thank you very much for the Prime sub. That's what I'm gonna go with. Did you know that your name could be passed as Thomas Swords or Tom Ass Swords? Oh, it'd be Ass Words, wouldn't it? Oh, hello folks, how you doing? How are we all? Sorry I didn't stream yesterday. Yesterday, I was accompanying Ashley to a medical appointment. Ashley is absolutely fine, just a routine thing. Nothing bad going on. Don't worry about Ashley. Apology not accepted. I should have told it. I should have said sorry, Ashley. The show comes first. I totally don't know the way here. Let's go over there instead. I did forget to post that I was moving it until an hour after the stream was supposed to start. I am actually sorry about that. Apologies about that. Why are we're not worrying about Ashley. Ashley was having a checkup at the doctor's and nothing's bad. It's the official doctor's word there. All fine. And today I'm late because I went to see the Odyssey, which is long as hell. And I thought I had enough time to get back in time, but I forgot to account.
Hello there.
For the
Help, I've been reading about the Filton activist trial stuff again and I am going insane.
The trailers. Seth Goatfriend. I don't know anything about the Filton activist trial
Hello
stuff,
there.
or I've forgotten.
How are the Spideys?
Shawcross! I'll give a spider update later. Thank you very much. Spiders are doing well. I just came back from that movie too. Yeah, it's a real odyssey. It is long, isn't it? I really liked it. Ashley wasn't as hot on it. She thought it was a bit too long. I did felt it dragged a little at the end, but I was still there for it. I'm waiting for Elon Musk's Grok version. It's honestly... I'm annoyed. Where does it rank among Nolan movies? Well, remember, I've not seen Oppenheimer still. So I don't know. But I can tell you it's either 1 or 2. Unless Oppenheimer's really good, it's his best movie. But it's much better than Inception. See, I'm annoyed. I liked it so much because I have an identity as a Nolan hater. And this has made me question it. See, I didn't like Memento even. Going back that far. Inception is wank. I didn't like Interstellar, which I watched yesterday with Ashley. Batman. The Batman movies are good Batman movies, which I can't pull this. It's not fair of me to say I can't get emotionally invested in a man in a rubber bat suit fighting a clown. It's not fair. But that is how I feel about it. But I care about lots of sillier stuff than that, so I don't know where that's coming from, really. Interstellar has the most baffling back. Honestly, major mistake from the planning to the editing phase. That movie should have ended when he fell in the black hole. It should have been 10 more minutes after that, and he shouldn't have been in it anymore. Like, it feels mangled. Just like, and so, like, right. Nolan's biggest problem as a filmmaker is that he doesn't trust his audience, right? He tries to make clever stuff, but he tries to make clever stuff that can be understood by the stupidest member of the audience, which is why all of his movies are so long and filled with people re-explaining what's going on constantly. It's really annoying. It robs your ability to engage with it, because if you're like, oh, I wonder if this is what's going to happen or it's what's going on, don't worry about doing that, because they're gonna beat you over the head with it 10 times before you get there. It's so annoying. It's like, it's a terrible impulse to be like, but what if there's a slime in the audience who can't follow along with what's happening? We should just have them say it. Oh, it's dreadful. I know he needs like to check that maybe 75%, I think. He needs a touch of mystery, leave a little up to interpretation, maybe. I don't think Nolan's that good of a writer. That's see, while I thought Interstellar was way too long and way too heavy on the expository dialogue and went on way longer than it should have, and the scenes in it are incredible. Like that docking scene, really good. Really fun. I like that a lot. The whole message of Tenet. See, I haven't seen Tenet, but I was wondering how that was going to happen, because I saw that a lot of people found that very confusing, and I was like, how? Because all he ever does is explain how everything works constantly. Like, like, I was raging during it, because I was like, all of these people are trained astronauts. They should all understand what is happening. One, right, I'll say this. As someone with a passing, novice level understanding of how things like relativity work, I'm sorry. If you're going to explain stuff that much, it should at least make sense. You can't be pulling like Star Trek level, we need to fire up the tachyon beam like dialogue, but then explain it like it's serious. Right. It's like, what if Doctor Who sat you down and tried to seriously explain how his time machine actually works? It's like, it doesn't. Anyway. Funnily enough, Interstellar is the Odyssey, if you didn't know. Yeah, lost father on a long journey, encountering troubles, trying to get back to his family. That's the Odyssey. The Odyssey. Now, I'm establishing my credentials as a sort of bona fide Nolan disliker here. Before I go on to say, the Odyssey is really good. I liked it a lot. The over-explaining problem is present. It's in the room, but it's not a dominating force in the room anymore, right? It's not. It's just around instead of like sitting on your chest and choking you. Yeah, I really liked it. Which kind of is pissing me off, because I was all geared up to dislike it. But it was good. Yeah. Yeah. The wokes. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I feel really embarrassed for the anti-woke grifter people who are like, for one, right, I'm going to sound really bad now, right? But the casting of people to play characters in plays, classic literature, things like that, is an old practice. It's a theatre practice. Men play women, people of all different races play all people. If you complain about that in movies, you sort of reveal yourself to be uncultured swine, right? And you shouldn't even be interacting with art. You should be playing Call of Duty, and I don't know, maybe like what do those sorts of people do? They you know, I sound bad because I don't even know examples of things that are on their level. But they should be doing that. Yeah, that's it, Fizzy. Thank you. I can always trust you to get something from the gutter for me. Someone had no idea I'd play. See, they've been doing it on the stage for years and years and years. Like, and if you don't like to be like, this is going to get one, I have mightily enjoyed watching a bunch of like barely literate YouTube slugs try to pretend that they have opinions about different translations of Homer. You don't fucking know. You don't know. I don't know. And I know a lot more than you about it. Like, I can't fucking read ancient Greek, and I don't know what's an accurate translation of a word from that time, and neither do you. No one who doesn't have a fucking PhD doesn't know. It's an academic conversation that none of the rest of us get to weigh in on. I could be a really good right-wing grifter right now. You can always be a really good right-wing grifter. It's a very simple script to learn. If it's woke and it succeeds, it's because of a conspiracy. If it's woke and it fails, it's because it proves what people are really like deep down. If it's anti-woke and it succeeds, it's because it proves what people are really like deep down. And if it's anti-woke and it fails, it's because of a conspiracy. There you go. You know all your lines. You can do everything now. Yeah. Nolan's, see, the over-explaining still, I wish he'd get, I don't know why he didn't give me the script beforehand and say, edit this, but he should have. And there's a few lines that are a little bit too literal that I would have been like, you should make this a little bit more of a metaphor, a little bit less direct, a little bit more ambiguity would have helped there. But I'll give him props for trending in the right direction with it. You know, he was too shy to ask. How did they deal with the whole nobody thing? They didn't. So Nolan does something more interesting with it, right? The nobody trick is cut, because that is the sort of genesis in the original of the gods' beef with Odysseus and his crew, right? I agree with cutting it, right? Because it would have muddied things too much. Because the problem is that in the original, Odysseus's boastfulness is what? Am I really going to criticize Homer in favor of Chris Nolan? I am. I think this is better. See, his boastfulness is what leads him to be punished, right? Because he injures the Cyclops and then he's about to get away. The Cyclops doesn't know his name and he's like, haha, my name is actually this and here's my address and I hope you're not related to any gods who are going to curse me now. And of course, the Cyclops is Poseidon's son and calls on Poseidon, and that's why they can't make their way home. And that's valid and it works in Homer. But in this version, that isn't the sort of the genesis of the god's anger with Odysseus and where he personally thinks that he has failed. That's the sack of Troy and the violation, like the trickery used, you know, like leaving them a gift and fainting to draw back, and like the deception there is what is the sort of sin of this version of Odysseus. And as such, I agree with cutting the nobody line. Yeah, this one is all about the rules of hospitality. Which, see, that's one of Nolan's over-explaining things, is that he changes it from the Greek word from it to Zeus's law, which, you know, all right, fair enough, you know. The real Odyssey is also all about the rules of Xenia. Is that how you say that? Warrior princess. It's very obvious in like I thought that, given I'd watched a lot of reviews from people who completely didn't follow along with it. So when I was watching it, I was expecting it to be more difficult to follow along with, because I was like, well, they've all missed something here. So is he? But no, it's not as. I would have preferred it to be more difficult and less obvious. But there's a scene when Odysseus returns to Penelope where he's recounting his travels, but he's still in disguise at that point. So he's talking about Odysseus's character. So he's essentially just talking about himself and how he feels. You know, he's doing the future armor. Here's how I feel. And he says, what if Odysseus had realized at the time, during the sack of Troy, what it is that he had done? And that's the sort of thesis statement of Odysseus in this film, is what if Odysseus recognized what he'd done right as it was happening, right? And where Nolan has got that is not from Greek history, but that is a transposition from Polybius, recounting the fall of Carthage, and the general who sacked and ultimately destroyed Carthage, Scipio Aemilianus, who, as the sack was happening, cried tears for his enemies and the destruction of the city, which he had been trying to destroy. He'd been trying to beat them, and he did. And then he wept, because in that moment he realized that if Carthage could fall, then the whole world could fall. He saw them as common humans, a great civilization just like Rome, and he saw that violence following him home and destroying Rome, right? And at that moment he cited the fall of Troy, like the prophecy that Troy must fall. Like, he quoted that. And that's where basically they've grabbed that and sort of attached it to Odysseus in this movie, where it's like, what if Odysseus sort of had the same realization as Scipio Aemilianus and, you know, saw the violence that he had just instigated spreading out and like rippling out. Thankfully that never happened. Polybius the historian. Honestly, I noticed that And I am amazed that they didn't find a way to sort of shoehorn that into the movie to make sure. It should have ended with a coda explain, like, this is where that came from. I'm not letting anyone get out of here without knowing everything about every influence behind this. So yeah. And I like Odysseus's character. A lot of people are reading it in a very shallow way, as like, oh, they've just bolted trauma onto it. But like, no, like, if you want, depictions of the Homeric heroes as morally dubious, like Plato and Socrates were on that, like, already. Like, it goes back that far. And then there's an interesting play I might want to talk about by Sophocles, in which the character of Odysseus and the son of Achilles have went to recruit a great archer for the war against Troy, right? And Odysseus knows that this great archer is not going to want to come with them. So he's like, if we're going to convince him, we need to lie. We need to play a trick. We need to, tell him some falsehood to get him to come. And the son of Achilles is like, no, I won't do that. I don't want to profit by trickery. If I win this war, I want to do it. Like, I'd rather lose than win by deception, right? And that's like more Greek history casting Odysseus as a character who is deceitful, and who other characters who, if they did his actions or followed his advice, would feel shame for doing it, right? My protagonist regrets war crimes. Oh yeah, that's like the other thing is, it as like a Nolan film, it's very much a follow-on from Oppenheimer, where the Trojan horse is the atomic bomb. It's something that someone made real and caused great death and destruction, and then they struggle with that afterwards. Who gave the best performance in the movie? I really like Robert Pattinson a lot. Playing a little shit. He's just really funny. But yeah, so, like, if I do make a video about this, one of the points will be that there's been so much discussion and reinterpretation of Homer over thousands of years that you can't say anything new about it. And indeed, like, so much of what Nolan has put in here is like, a character from the Aeneid. He's put in Dante, having him sail away at the end of the story instead of stay as king. He's taken the questions about his, like, whether he's doing the right thing or not from Plato. Like, it's all been done and said before. Did you just spoil the end of the movie? it's no, I spoiled a part of Dante's Inferno, which has been out for hundreds of years. Out. I was just gonna get around to reading that. Listen, I'm not doing a spoiler warning for the Odyssey. But yeah, like, the point is, it's all been done. There's nothing really new here. It's basically it reads like someone has like read a lot about Troy and about Odysseus, and has read the different interpretations of Odysseus over the years, and then has taken elements from all of those things and made here's the Odyssey, but what if the character of Odysseus was sort of informed by the thousands of years of criticism and reanalysis of his character? And I like that. I think it's good. Am I just going to sit on this ledge and waffle about movies for 3 hours? It worked in elements of the Bronze Age collapse. See, that's one line I would change, because I'm like, yes, okay, you're doing this is what caused the Bronze Age collapse, but he can't just do that and let people know that if they know it, or let it come out in criticism later. He has to be like this, like has Odysseus look right into the camera and say, by the way, this is what caused the Bronze Age collapse. So yes, okay, Chris, well done. Like you could say, like, our civilization is threatened. You could say, you don't have to be so on the nose about it. It's awfully late into the Bronze Age. See, I don't really have any issue with people in the Bronze Age saying it's the Age of Bronze or whatever. Like, I think that's fine, but it's the word collapse that fucked me up, because that's a very specific way we refer to that period of history. Dude, is he petting that? He's petting a slime. This is not usually a problem, but we gotta go up, don't we? Oh, I foresee big problems here. Tell you what, let's go a different way. Can you lot be rotted? Probably not, because they're made of stone. Yes. Well, alright. We'll call it a draw. But yes, also, if you, like any of the YouTube people who are like, I was taken out of it when I saw a black person. Like, you just are a racist. Like, that's it. There is no other argument there. Like, you should not be engaging with art if you can't handle that. You're not sophisticated enough. Like, I'm sorry. You are a racist. You should go and sort that out. I want to make a video just to say that, mainly. Are there people who... Are you kidding? Honestly, it's amazing. You wouldn't believe the sorts of shit that they get up to, all out of sight, completely within their own bubble. You know what they're saying? When it was revealed that Elliot Page was in this movie, right? They thought that Elliot Page was playing Achilles because someone said so, but there was zero evidence for that. And then, when it came out that Elliot Page was not playing Achilles, they said, no, he was. Christopher Nolan must have seen the backlash and then changed the movie, re-edited the movie just before release to avoid all of the downvotes and to stop the movie from flopping. That's what some of them think. They think that they re-edited the fucking movie. And now, some of them think that because the movie's doing well and so many of them predicted that it would fail, they think that the studio is buying up all of the tickets. Why? What they spend on the movie and then they also spend to buy tickets to it that no one's going to see? To win some culture war against a bunch of no marks on YouTube? I can't believe the arrogance of these fucking people. Like, you think Christopher Nolan gives a shit what you think, or whether or not you like the trailer on the Universal Pictures YouTube channel? There's no way they think or believe. Trust me, there's some of them who do think it, and I feel sorry for those ones. Most of them, it's just what they have to say they believe. Because it's the only available fallback position that isn't, alright, we fucked up, we were wrong, you know. Some of the smarter, like, big voices, like Ben Shapiro, was like, called this one wrong. You know, we've fucked it up. Admit defeat. You know, some of the bigger fishers who know how it works and know how to, like, take a hit and keep swimming. Some of them are like, yeah, alright, whatever. We were wrong. But it's the smaller ones who are, like, the true believers. Ooh, that's scary. Whee. One thing that really fucked me off, right, is I'd seen a lot of people complain the gods aren't in the movie. There's no gods. Where are the gods? So I was like, oh, right. Now, what's probably going to happen is, you know, there's storms, there's lightning, there's thunder. That's the gods. And that is indeed what it is. They are forces of nature in it. And I thought they're just not going to be clever enough to have spot that, you know. Not clever, but not familiar enough with art and metaphor, you know. 1 sec. But no, Nolan makes it exceptionally obvious that that's what he's doing. Like, the first conversation between Odysseus and Athena, she is like, look at that cloud. Who's moving it? It's a god. The gods are doing all of this stuff around us. Nature is the gods. Looks right into the camera. The gods are nature in this movie. Okay, it's not that obvious, but... But it's really fucking like on the nose. Like it's when like in the original, Calypso doesn't want to let Odysseus go, right? So then Zeus sends Hermes, is it, to the island to be like, yo, let him go. And then they have a little back and forth arguments about it, and then she lets him go, right? In this one, Odysseus asks to be let go, and then there's a big rolling thunder, like, right above their heads, and Calypso looks up at it, and then, like, seems to understand, and then agrees to let him go. Like, Zeus is in the actual dialogue. It's like, Zeus, asterisks, thunder rumbles. Like, he's there, he's speaking. That is him telling Calypso to let Odysseus go. Do you think we need to have a cut to Liam Neeson sitting on a cloud, like saying, Calypso, holding a thunderbolt, let him go? Would that have improved it at all? Telu. The goat, one of my favorite summons, who I'm not using. Cut to Danny DeVito. Should we try and make it through the ruins? You know what? So many fucking people. I have to rant about something briefly. I have seen people on Twitter, people on YouTube saying, don't watch this. Go and watch, like, after watching half an hour of them complain about, one, inaccuracies that aren't inaccuracies, right? So, in the original, Odysseus recounts his story of his voyage to the king of the island he lands on before finally returning home to Ithaca, right? And in the movie, that's not the case. They cut that island for time, probably, and Odysseus recounts his story instead to Calypso, which is the second to last island he's on. Now, that's not a mistake. That's just a choice. That's just a dramatic choice, right? To move the explanation of one thing from one place in the story to another. It's not even that big of a change, really. Great. But then after listening to a whole bunch of similarly, like, you know, serious complaints about doing things inaccurately, people have then said, don't watch this, go and watch a classic like Clash of the Titans. Multiple people have said that. Right. Now, I like Clash of the Titans. I have fond memories of Clash of the Titans from watching it as a little kid. But Clash of the Titans has a fucking robot owl in it. Historically accurate. Clash of the Titans invents a Greek god just for the movie. Clash of the Titans has a kraken from Norse mythology in it. It's not even it's the different fucking mythos. There are no Titans in Clash of the Titans, by the way. It's not even named right. Now, look, I like Clash of the Titans, but it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. You can't be like, I don't like that they cut the nobody bit, but I like Clash of the Titans, and I care about historical accuracy. Fuck off, honestly. The Kraken is not. Yeah, it's not. I think the Clash of the Titans is the source of that confusion. It's something called, what is it? A Cetus? Cetes? Something like that? In Greek, which is a sea monster. Where are there black people? Exactly. Charybdis. No, that's the whirlpool, which is also a sea monster. But no, what is it called? CETES is what I think I'm trying to say. Oh, CETUS. Cetus. In Greek mythology, a Cetus is a large sea monster. Perseus slew a Cetus to save Andromeda from being sacrificed to it. To save Andromeda, who, by the way, it would be completely historically accurate to portray with a black actor, because she was the Queen of Ethiopia. Aside from any of the culture war stuff, and me appreciating the different sort of elements of Odysseus' character, because it allows me to feel smart by knowing it, I really appreciate how much stuff they actually did. You know, that's a boat on the ocean. You can tell. It's fun to watch a bunch of lads sail around on a boat on an ocean. It would not have been as good if they'd CGI'd it. How could she be black and evergreen? This is why I'm really annoyed that that one particular epic cycle poem is missing, because there is a whole ass fucking epic the same level as the Odyssey, which is literally here's the king of Ethiopia turning up with his army to fight at Troy. And he's the most handsome man in the world, and he fights Achilles, and everyone says he's a warrior on Achilles level. He loses, but you know. If I had a criticism of it, I think it drags a little in, like, from the start of the last fight scene, which, like, it kind of feels like that had to be in there because that's in the poem, but I would have cut that way down myself. It's like oh shit. One of these fuckers, eh? Oh my god, I hate them. Odysseus wouldn't have had a chance against one of these things. Utterly horrific, those things. I wouldn't mind so much, it's just, I feel like those are bad on a design level, those ones. Just their design as, like, you know, they're skinny, they're bedraggled, They clearly using dex weaponry. They should be clonking off a great shield. It's like you can't have a what is clearly supposed to be like a quick, nimble fighter also just plow through this fucking wall of stone. Like, you make them that quick, but you know, then they're a problem for casters. They're a problem for dex characters, but I feel like if you look like this, they should just bounce off you. Who plays Malinois? She is in the movie. I think. If Ashley is correct. As a bird. So a bird plays Malinois. Yeah, she's the robot owl. I don't know if it's actually her, but yeah. Ashley said something very funny and ditzy, which I have permission to tell you when we came out of it. I was like, oh, I thought that was great. And Ashley was like, oh, it was a bit long for me. I'm really tired. And then she was like, oh, I feel exhausted. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not much of a Rome person. She said. Oh, fuck. That's not good. Stop it. Didn't know you could do that. Oh gosh. And then I said, I see where you made the mistake there. It was the inclusion of the character Sinon, who is from Virgil's Aeneid. That's probably why you made that mistake, isn't it, Ashley? And she looked at me like I'm a giant wanker. And she was correct too. And then the cab driver, because this is on the way home, said, it doesn't sound like you two are from Liverpool. He said to us. Yes, I am. She should be allowed to hit you with a hammer once. Yeah, no, that was being an asshole. Thanks, Gowset. Yeah. He, like, didn't believe me as well when I said, no, I am. I'm from Liverpool. Actually, it was like, I'm from Scotland. You were being so mean. It's not mean. Still no map, but confusion, no confusion. Yeah. difficult, isn't it, friend? Look at those sparklies. The sparklies have worthwhile stuff in them. There's usually a bastard lurking near them that's going to jump on your face. The cab driver was from Liverpool. I had to prove my Liverpoolness to him. Because I said, no, I've lived here my whole life. My dad is a truck driver from around here. And he was like, oh, I was a truck driver till I started doing the cabin. And then he was like, who did he drive for? About my dad, which I don't know if it was like trying to figure out if it was I was feeling tested. Yeah, to prove to this guy. If we're going through doors we haven't opened before, we're still making progress. Ugh. What else do I have to say about the movie? Tom Holland wasn't bad in it. I actually liked him in it probably more than anything else I've ever seen him in. But I still feel like he's just kind of like there, you know? He's just like you want an actor to do a role, he'll turn up and do it. But I'm not like I don't know. I'm never like excited when I see him in something. Which, in the same way where I am with like Robert Pattinson, say, like I'm like, oh, it's him. He's great. He does a lot of fun little things, even when it's like, you know, not his line, you know. Which are always fun. I feel like I liked Holland near the end of this, but otherwise he's just sort of like a presence. Tom Holland's too normal, Pattinson's a weirdo. Yeah, need more weird actors. Now we reach an issue here, given that you're supposed to ride the horse down this gap. And I can't do that. Yeah. God, I wish there was a grace right here so that I could test out different ways. All is not lost, however. We just need to go in a different way. There's a reduced fall damage item, but it only reduces the fall damage you would have suffered to nothing, but it doesn't stop fatal damage. Unfortunately. Now I remember that there is a way to go around and fall down behind a statue and open a door, and hopefully it's past that, wherever that is. So let's just try different ways until we find it, shall we? Spidey news. One spider is in molt, which has me a bit I'm a little confused, because that one like molted, came out for a bit, like went back into molt again, molted again, and then it came out, and it was out for like a couple of days. It felt like, and it ate one cricket, I think, and now it's went back into molt again. I don't know. I haven't had them for long enough to know how they work. See, it only ate one in between two molts. So I thought, like, their molt process speeds up if you feed them too much. I know, but this one, I swear it had only eaten a single thing in between two molts, which just seemed confusing to me, because I was like, I thought that this happened, like, if they overate, they need to molt again. Yeah, maybe we should slow down on the feeding them. Middle spider is still on the little flies, which is handy because they're super easy to feed it. Nyx, the spider on the right, came out of a molt recently and is huge. Really big now. And when we came back from the movie, she was eaten, which is nice to see. Is she beautiful? Yes. I think me and Ashley disagree. I think Nyx might possibly be a male. Whereas Ashley believes Nyx is a female. How do you tell? Ash has just posted a video of one of them eating. Oh, is this true? Let me see. Let's see. Yes, that's Nyx.
He's so beautiful.
Oh, she talks in it. Sure, and stream. I will post it in the chat for you all. Oh, she's not eating in that video though. She's just waving her pedipalps around. They can talk. Yeah, that was the spider calling Ash beautiful. Yeah, she's big now. Biggin'. Yes, you flip them over and you look at their spider balls. But yeah, that is the one that was eating. People they're like, you should supervise their feeds. Watch them until they catch a cricket. Sometimes I put in food that I know they can definitely isn't going to give them any trouble, because like it can take them days to catch a cricket. Crickets like wriggle under soil and shit and like hide themselves, and they, I wouldn't get anything else done. So we really want to be down there. The spider looks like it knows Ash. Yeah, they're very easy to kind of bond with because they do look at you when you come over, and like they cock their heads like a dog to look at you. I want a spider. Yeah. I am mildly scared of spiders. I'm not scared of those three. I feel like keeping the spiders has made me less afraid of spiders. Hello again. Don't have time for any of your nonsense. You little fucking shit. Oh. How often do you have to feed them? It depends on their size. The very small ones, more than the big ones. It goes off the size of their abdomens, usually. Like, if they look fat, stop feeding them. If they look deflated, give them food. It's that sort of thing. We unfortunately lost. We still have 3 spiders, but we lost one to a bad molt, which was very sad. Very unfortunate. But that's a thing that can happen, apparently. Oh, I didn't fight you last time. Yeah, I didn't actually say at the time because it was too sad. But, yeah, one of our spiders is in spider heaven. Or also known as the front garden. I thought, you know, a return to nature. Yeah, that one of them went into a molt and came out and was acting a bit weird and then just sadly passed away. Which was sad. But I was looking up, like, did we do anything wrong? You know, like, worrying about it. But sometimes they just don't make it through a molt and there's nothing you can do, you know. So now, in place of that one, we have a new small spider, which is of a different species. Was this one of... It is a spider I have been telling you stories about, yes, unfortunately. Actually, I cried over a spider. It's sad. You get used to them, and you start to like, you know, you feel a connection with them. I didn't drown it. I want like it just it acted odd after a molt, you know. Molt's the riskiest time for them. Yeah, sometimes they can struggle with it and exhaust themselves and not get through a molt, or... I don't know what happened here, because it came out and then it was running around the cage really, really fast. And I thought it was just like stretching its limbs after a molt, but it just like ran until it exhausted and then died. It's just like... I saw him laughing, it was just really confusing. When I saw it out, I was like, oh, that one must be fine. Death by zoomies, yeah. So the other one we have now, we've repurposed that enclosure. It's still a jumping spider, but it's a different species of jumper. Ow. Stop it. Leave me alone. Spiders. Yeah, it's hard. Even professionals on, like, you know, Spider Reddit and whatever, they're like, yeah, sometimes they just die. There's like... Which kind of made me feel better, though, because I was worried, you know, God, what if I've done something wrong? I'm glad as well. I was thinking, can you imagine how horrible it would be for, like, a dog if, like, every so often your dog had to, like... Oh my god, I'm getting my ass kicked. Had to go in the dog cocoon and, like, you didn't know it was gonna come out or not. Oh. Come on. Is that the fake one? It is and all. Damn, I thought it was lower down. Well, shit. Hey. I'm gonna look at my notes in my Odyssey Google Doc. I did have a quick blitz through a book called Shame and Necessity about concepts of shame and guilt in ancient Greek art and philosophy, which was interesting. Got a few things from that. See, I don't think we can get back up here though, can we? I saw Matt Walsh complained about the non-linear narrative. That's a good one. I do want to make this video, but I do want it to be less structured than usual. Easier to write. I know I say this every time, and I know I say this next bit every time as well, but I actually do want to get this out faster. Oh my god. It's great when like, you know, the original is told out of order, which is wonderful. That's so cool. Can you imagine? Not just the tale as well, like the Odyssey, like Odysseus is on the island before his home island when we meet him and he starts telling his tale, and it's like how he got from Troy to there. But like, you know, there are like poets in the story who tell stories of other places and peoples, and we get their story for a little while, you know? It's like if people thousands of years ago could get their heads around that, you really should be able to today, you know? Yeah, you're probably wondering how I got here. That's literally how Odysseus starts out. I'm never going to be able to get any of these pots in here. Call me Odyssey. Nolan put in a little nod to Odysseus weeping when he hears the stories of Troy, which was nice. There was one guy who was a British guy, YouTuber, whose view of what he thinks the Odyssey is crazy. Like the way he describes it is like it's literally like fascist propaganda, and he likes it. It's what he thinks it was. It's like it's a story about seeing your enemies driven before you. It's an epic battle of good and evil in which you must destroy your enemies and murder them as they deserve, he says. I'm like, oh my god, that's nothing at all what this is like. It like between good and evil? Like, no, that's very like post-Christianity sort of definitions of good and evil getting you know, sort of transposed onto it. But like even like the Odyssey isn't like the people of Troy are evil. Like it doesn't even say that. Well, I've got nothing to do again apart from try this jump. Oh, so close though, isn't it? I think we could make the second half of that fall as well. Typical leftist Troy apologist. Was the horse evil? Not in and of itself. But yeah, that's definitely Nolan's take on Odysseus, is that what if Odysseus felt about it the way certain other characters and sort of philosophers and historians have written about it, you know, as it being a violation and it being dishonorable to win by deception, you know. What if Odysseus was Oppenheimer? Yeah. I think it definitely looks like that because of, you know, Nolan's previous movie. I would be slightly pretentious about it and say, what if Odysseus was Scipio Aemilianus? Which I figure Nolan or one of the I don't know, what do they have, film researchers, was definitely like reading everything they could about Troy and found Scipio Aemilianus's references to Troy at the fall of Carthage, and was like, that's what we're going to do in this movie, you know. It's what if the commander who destroyed the city realized what he'd done in the moment, you know. Which is a very powerful image. I know about that because Matt Duncan opens his Roman history book, The Storm Before the Storm, with that scene. He tells a little, like, he writes out in like a sort of semi-fictional way the scene of Scipio Aemilianus watching Carthage burn and then sort of crying because he realizes that could be the fate of anyone, you know. So they didn't plagiarize. That's funny though. You know what even annoys me, right? I'm gonna say there was a robot owl in Clash of the Titans with a sense of indignation, as in how ridiculous it would be for there to be a robot owl in, but that's entirely like plausible, because there are robots in Greek mythology, quite literally. I can't let this get away again this time. We figured out how to beat these, at least. Get off. There we go. Yeah, God, what was his name? I'm struggling to remember the name of the smithing god. The one in the wheelchair I talked about in that. Hephaestus, that's the one, yeah. Forgot Hephaestus' name. He makes automatons. Like robot servants who like do work for him, and in aid of the other gods. Ow. That hurt. Now, I know that, but it's gonna undercut my "there was a robot owl" line to not say, you know, I'm gonna have to ruin one of my own jokes by being like, yes, well, this would actually be plausible. He's a god. Yeah, they were all bringing like a sort of Christian interpretation of what a god means, weren't they? There's a lot of that going around. The battle between good and evil. It's very biblical, and it's not in like the poems of Homer, obviously. Like the gods are individuals who have individual desires and whims and so on, and like actions can be good or bad, but like what condemns people is usually an overreach or a break of something sacred, you know, rather than an evil action or like. It's honestly, it's quite. It's more morally complicated. It's just like better. There we go. So this is becoming a video then. I already have a few pages of notes, yeah. God, it's the same shit every time. I come in, I go past the bastard who jumps all over you, then it's the spiders. It's the wrong button. Nice. What's the name of the character who... I posted an excerpt of one interpretation of the character to Blue Sky because it was really funny how many times they get sort of forced transed. You'd get sick of it after like the third or fourth time, I think. But yeah, in the more... like the original telling, I think they were a man who got turned into a woman and lived for a time as a woman and then turned into a man again. And Tiresias, yeah, that's the one. And as it goes, the gods were arguing over who enjoys sex more, men or women, and they settled the argument by summoning him and being like, yo, who has more fun shagging? Which is, that's like crazy. What did he say? Women. And Hera, being annoyed about having lost the argument, blinded him. Is that the same Tiresias? Let's see. It is. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Tiresias is in the Odyssey, the movie. The blind seer. Oh, that's fun. He said women get 10 times the pleasure they give. Maybe he just wasn't very good at sex as a man. The thing is, it's someone who's been both a man and a woman, but they only have one individual's perspective, don't they? Maybe he just, maybe he wasn't on point. I like the assumption that he would just enjoy sex as a just as a woman, despite being a man up to that point. It's quite progressive. You're in a bad position there if the gods summon you to settle an argument, because whatever you say, you're going to piss one of them off. Yeah, go on. Throw your pot at me. Asshole. What are you gonna do now without your precious pot? So we've went through that door. Well, I don't think I've actually went down this cavern. I mean, I would probably answer with whatever I thought Zeus would want me to hear, to be fair. Oh my god. So I don't judge his answer given the circumstances, you know. Now then, I don't see a way around this without having to fight a fuckload of giant spider scorpions. So let's just plow on through. That's fun though, because I can say there's a lot of controversy around the inclusion of a trans character in the Odyssey, and then show Tiresias and be like, Tiresias. I don't know, is that bad though? That might be bad. Can you call someone trans if it was against their will multiple times? I don't know. I'll have a think about it. Oh, I have a question. You know my background screen? This one. That one, right? I've forgotten now. But what are the books there? All of those books are actual books. But I don't remember what they are. Someone go look and write them all down. And just know the answer for me and then go write them down. Because H-Bomb asked, actually. But that wasn't I gave the basic, like, outline of what I wanted the background to be. No. Oh, you fuck. But Scotch came up with a lot of the detail. It's one of those... Yeah, the dawn of everything is the one that people... Listen, you fuckers, giving fake answers. Yeah, H-Bomb noticed that one of them was the dawn of everything and was like, wait, are they actual books? And I was like, they are, but I can't remember. I might just tell him to ask Scotch. But I figured I'd ask you all first. You can't be... No, of course. You know, I say, what are those books? You're going to be like, the book of bumholes. Ha ha. Because that's just what you're all like, you know. Was the Goku your idea? No. I think Scotch said Goku can be there for when things get too serious. I know who Goku is. Yeah, I don't know. Kama Sutra for the small penis. One person opened their video by saying, the world's oldest and most complicated story is about to get the Nolan treatment. That's like the first 3 seconds. And I had to pause. I was like, hang on, wait. No, on both counts there, right? One, it isn't the oldest story, not by a long shot. Even in terms of things that have been written down, it's not the oldest story. And it's not that complicated. Odysseus wants to go home, but lots of things keep getting in his way. That's it. That's all really that happens. It's not that hard to follow. Did you see? The problem is, if I stop for everything like that, like, you know, I could spend 5 minutes on that. Just that. Being like, well, you know, this, like, and I can't do that. I need to cut more. I need to just be like, no, it's not, it isn't. I'd have it be that. It's the oldest Gilgamesh. I think the Epic of Gilgamesh. But I was looking it up and I was seeing like all sorts of stories I hadn't heard of, like Egyptian stories on like papyrus that are like ancient. We're lower. We've done it. We've got lower. And as for like spoken stories, like, yeah, tons way older. Which of course the stories in Homer were old stories. Like, it's the composition of them is... Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not getting up there, am I? Oh my god. These poison pools are horrible. It's hard to date oral tales. Yeah, because they change over time. Like, you don't know when someone's like, I'm gonna add a bit, change a bit. But, you know, from when people add speech, they've had stories, you know? Hang on. Just trying to pause. Did you know that in the Grok video that Musk was responding to when he said that Grok's going to make a historically accurate version of the Odyssey? When they're sailing towards the Sirens, who are three, like, dancers standing on a rock in the sea, which looks absolutely fucking ridiculous, Odysseus is wearing modern industrial earplugs like you get on a construction site. Which is really funny. The sideways rowers. Are there rowers go sideways? I didn't even spot that. I just saw the earplugs. How are we going to get past the Sirens? I brought protection. You know what? Nolan could have swapped the roles, right? Like, very easily could have avoided a lot of culture war nonsense by being like, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll have the black woman play Calypso, because then that's taken by them as, okay, she is a sort of like enticing, temptress, exotic, like, and thus can be black, whereas Queen, position of authority, famed for beauty, must be white. And he could have just swapped those two roles and avoided like a whole bunch of the backlash. And I'm glad he didn't do that, because fuck those fucking people, you know? They don't deserve to be catered to. Get the fuck off. God, my knife throwing has been abysmal. I think it's this way. Is that what the writes are whining about mostly? Yes. Pretty much exclusively those two things. It's funny watching reviews of it by people who are, like, really committed to it being terrible. Because they go really angry video game nerd over the top about it. They're like, everything was awful. It was so bad. The acting was bad. The dialogue was bad. This, you know, there was one person was like, you can't even call this a movie. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. You're like, all right, yeah. Like, was it? All right. What a shit. Yeah, they're one step above. Oh, well, not above. They're one step away from being like, this movie farted on my balls, you know. But when they get to actual criticism, you have to sit through like 5 minutes of them saying that, you know, without actually saying anything specific. And then when they get to any specifics, it's just the same shit they've been complaining about for months back, which is there's a trans person in it, there's a black person in it. You're like, oh, you just didn't like the stuff from the trailer that you didn't like, and that's it. They have to revere it as part of the canon. Yeah, see, the thing is, they don't care about it. They haven't read it, they don't know anything about it, they don't know anything about the different interpretations of it throughout history. The past is set in stone for them. There's one glorious past, and that's what we're gonna fascism our way back to. A lot of these people don't even know they're fascists, because they're not complicated enough to have, like, like a coherent worldview, even if it's evil. They're just reactionaries who don't even know that's what they are. And their idea of the past is a perfect country where people did violence to one another, slaughtered their enemies, and we can kill our way back to that. Like, they don't fucking know that different ancient Greeks looked at Homer and were like, I don't like that. Or thought, like, I don't like Odysseus. Odysseus is a bad role model. Like, they don't know what fucking Plato or Aristotle or Socrates or any fuckers said about Homer. They haven't got a clue. Which, fair enough. You know, who does? It doesn't matter, really. But they're staking so much on it. Like, it's, you close yourself off from so much art being racist. Like, when the Odyssey opens, right, with basically a bard telling a story, right, introducing the story of Odysseus, which happens in the original, right, and these rhapsodists in the past, right, rhapsodists, yeah, are presented in the film by a rapper, right? He cast a rapper. What do rappers do? They do essentially spoken word poetry, right? It's a modern interpretation of the same sort of person doing the same sort of job, telling a spoken word poem. And if you're not racist, you could look at that and be like, oh, I understand what they're going for there. Yeah, that's fair. That's a way of making what was in the original, like, accessible to what we understand today. But if you're a racist, you just see a black person, you're like, what? Muses in Disney's. Yeah, they did that in Hercules. Yeah, exact same thing. What if the muses were like, you know, like a girl group? Have you read any Madeline Miller retellings? I haven't, but Ashley has or wants to, I believe. Gospel singers, yeah. What if Scylla and the Sirens were a girl rock band? I mean, well, that is actually what it's like in the original. Hades 2 really nailed that. Hades 2 is very historically accurate. Like, the Sirens being a rock band, that's fucking great. I like that a lot. What if Scylla was Scylla Black?
Hello there.
Shaun for love.
Thank you, Secret Chief 3. Sorry, Scylla Black has me laughing. That'd be like a good, like 7 out of 10 like Viz Comics bit. Scylla Black. I don't know how many strips they could get out of it. Be a great Twitter handle. It would. Right, we need to stay well away from that thing over there. I abandoned here the last of the flesh of my body. It was his testicles. Nice. Very tasteful joke. Thank you. It is interesting. Mikola has to... I abandon here my body. When you see him, he's got a body. So I guess, what, did he have to become like a shade or something? It's not clear, is it? Was he like a spirit only when he goes up there? Well, since we've tagged the Grace, we definitely have, right? I can't believe I made it here without the horse. Oh yeah, Rani as well, yeah. Probably, yeah. Wonder if he had to inhabit something. I'm aware of your skeleton apologia, Legsy. Oh. Oh, the clunky, clunky, clunky hammer. Oh, it's so clunky. Oh. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh my god. Oh, fuck me. Fuck. Didn't trust surviving that. Oh my god. You're gonna be hard. Right then. What else have I got? Let's look at my YouTube. I've just, there wasn't much to say about this person's video, but their name was in all caps, Valiant Renegade, and Valiant was spelled wrong, and I just really liked that. That really made me laugh. There's some people. I'm not the best at pronouncing names, but Telemachus and Menelaus, not good.
We're about to see what happens when the world's oldest and most complicated story gets the Nolan treatment.
First 5 seconds. That's a YouTuber called Moon with like more than 1.5 million subs, and their video was utterly ridiculous. We're gonna get another round of shoulds pronouncing Greek names. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, this person defines the Odyssey as being about the tension between good and evil. No. Heroes succeeding despite all odds? I mean, not really. And then he says it's deeply symbolic, but doesn't say it's symbolic of what. The internet destroys the Odyssey. It's officially done. The satisfying collapse of the Odyssey. This is truly awful. The Odyssey is terrible. The critics lied. That's a review, that one. Disparu was the really, hang on. Let me pause.
There is a scene in the...
Wait, here's idiot voice. I haven't watched all of that one. I only made it about 6 minutes into an hour-long review of it, but I'm looking forward to that. He's the one who, within the first 6 minutes, said it's about masculinity and power and dominance. And I'd almost agree, but in the complete opposite way. Like, Odysseus is the hero who succeeds by trickery and by like, what happens when they meet the Cyclops? They use a trick and they run away. They trick their way past the sirens. They run away from the giants. They're just always running away. They're pulling tricks and running away. When is it like they won a great battle, you know? It's like this thing is stronger and bigger and more powerful than them, and they have to like lie and trick and cheat to get around it. There's so... Come on. Hang on. I can play this for you.
Hey guys, Scripture here with another video. I went and saw the Odyssey last...
Shut up. Where have I written this? At 6. Let's go to like... I'm worried playing any of this, they'll say slurs. I'm sorry.
Like, look... Like, you know how they did... You know, think about Lord of the Rings, all the camera tricks they did to make the Hobbit small and you know, like even on the cart, right? If you watch the behind the scenes, the way that they put Elijah Wood's character several feet behind Ian McClellan, who was Gandalf, and then shot it at an...
Ian McClellan's Gandalf. Ian McClellan played Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings. And and this same person later on. We're in this 11:58. That's a very specific time.
Action scenes played out for the most part. There were some fog on his face every single time. Quick little new, new. Like, when you watch Lord of the Rings, Legolas was fast with his bow, but he was all...
Legolas and Gandalf are our favorite characters from Lord of the Rings. He calls Scylla the Hydra. He complains that the suitors are boring because all they do is sit around drinking and eating. Oh, sorry. Oh. That person's also someone who gets heavy into the Achilles conspiracies as well. There's a thing going around where they're like, Sinon is called the greatest warrior that Odysseus has ever known, and that's not true at all. Well, Odysseus calls Sinon brave, right? And that is true. That's just true. They say, yeah, I'm confused, like, because if you've seen it enough to reference it, to be like, I like the action scenes and that, but not in this. Why can't you say any of the names in it? It's really... That's confusing, right? Oh, I wrote another one down. Oh my god, how many things does this guy say wrong? 22 minutes I wrote for this one.
Telemachus wants him home. And all the conversations center around that, and everything centers around that, and there's just nothing else there. And Agamemnon was wasted because he...
Agamemnon. Agamemnon. That's another good one. Yeah, it's a Digimon name, isn't it? Agamemnon. Oh. There's a lot of complaints about Penelope. Right. This is another hasn't read the poem thing, right? Because there is a sort of... there's a speech given by Penelope where she's mad because people are like, the throne has been empty. And she's like, bollocks has it. I've been here all this time. I've been in charge. I just can't rule by my own right because I'm not a man and that's not fair, right? Now, that isn't in the original. But what is in the original is a very similar speech, which is given in a different context. Hang on. Let me look it up exactly. I keep on forgetting. Things about it. Right. Calypso is talking to Hermes, right? And Calypso bemoans the fact that she has to give up Odysseus because she says the other gods are jealous, the male gods are jealous, they all get to take human lovers, but when I do it, that's unfair and you make me give him up, right? Now, that is a speech in the original bemoaning the fate of female characters versus male ones. They've just basically transposed that speech, and just because the actual physical gods don't turn up in the Odyssey, they've given that speech with the same sentiment basically to Penelope in a different context, right? I'm going to wow them all with... I imagine I'll get lots of emails which are like, oh, we didn't know that, and all the other stuff. Thank you so much for teaching us. I didn't intend to go that close this time. I've ballsed up. I'm not going to get a chance to cast here, am I? I'm just going to have to win it with this. All right. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Just about. Not good. Not good. I can't be uphill from it. Fuck. How high is your Skadu? 9, I think. Alright, I'm gonna get it this time. There's someone called Rev Says Des who goes on about the likes and dislikes. Follower of Asmongold, looks like. Lots of conspiracy theory stuff, and then stuff about fake movie tickets being bought by the companies. This one, 22 minutes in.
What was your driving force behind it?
With the omissions or changes from the source material and how they're framed. Now, I'll just name a few in no particular order off the top of my head. Helen of Troy being abused and used as an excuse for the cause of the Trojan War, with no mention of Aphrodite. Circe not being...
The Aphrodite's only mentioned once in passing, in like a different context, by a bard in the original, and doesn't appear. So I don't know what that's about. Let's see.
And they omitted Odysseus staying with her and shagging for the better part of a year. The sirens were literally muted and not seen, and they omitted that they died because Odysseus survived listening to their song, and instead...
No, wrong, bad, not in the original. Incorrect. The sirens do not die in Homer's Odyssey. You were wrong on the internet. -1 point. I'm not surprised about that, Lexi, at all. There's lots of complaints about the Laestrygonians, right? The giants. But I thought that was great in the movie. They're these, like, iron-armored giants, which is done very well. They used 7-foot-tall actors and 5-foot-tall, like, stunt actors to stand in for the Greeks. So, to, like, make them, you know, look really tiny compared to the giants. Which, that's really cool. I like that they did that sort of thing, using practical effects, you know. Be with you shortly. So it looks like I'm not actually able to get the rot off. It's just such a hard fight. Seth, that's funny. Oh, and everyone else made the same joke. That's very funny. Oh, I miscounted. Hehe. See you later. Like right now. Oh, bullshit. Oh, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Oh, God. What a nightmare. Oh, fucking hell. Oh. Nice. Have you tried not getting hit? Impossible! Look, this is as quick as I can move. That's gonna be one of the hardest fights, though. Like, that's, like, you know, relentlessly chases you with a big fuck-off hammer and doesn't care. Sorry about the Discord notification there. There's lots of people crowing about the dislikes on the trailer. Can I run this past you all? Have I already? They put out 3 trailers for the Odyssey, I believe, and the most recent one of them, like the countdown trailer, is that's the one that showed Helen of Troy in it. You know, you can't see dislikes though. I posted about it. You can't see dislikes. YouTube disabled public dislikes, right? Dan Olsen talked to... Oh, did he? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's an extension to add dislikes back to YouTube. And now you might think that what that browser extension does is grab like the available dislike count, which is still available on YouTube's backend or in their data or something, and then it will show you the dislike bar. But that isn't what they're doing. The add-on is called, what is it, Restore YouTube Dislikes. What it does is it uses like historical data for old videos, but anything that came out after YouTube disabled public dislikes, it just extrapolates as a guess. What it does is it uses the ratio of likes and dislikes of people who use that app and extrapolates them onto the like count of the actual video, right? So say if a video has 10,000 likes on it, if there's a 10-to-1 like to dislike ratio of users of using the dislike app, it will say there's 1,000 dislikes on this video. Like, that's what it will show you. But it does not know how many dislikes the actual video's got. It's just a guess. Now, if the users of the app and the general YouTube audience like and dislike things in similar amounts, like if they behave the same, then that's fine. It'll be like accurate. It'll be a good representative example of it. But in cases where they do not act similarly, for example, say if there's a big brigade to all dislike a particular YouTube video by people who care about likes and dislikes being visible, then that the people who have installed the dislike button and bar on YouTube is no longer a representative sample of the general audience, because that's people who want to see a big dislike bar on something. So you can't just map that onto the public likes. In fact, because what it essentially does is app likes versus like as compared to app dislikes multiplied by the amount of likes on the public video, the more popular that the video is, the more dislikes it will show you. So if a trailer comes out for a movie and everyone's like, we love that, we're all going to go click like on it, when the dislike app users come to it, if they have a negative like to dislike ratio that gets mapped onto that, the more popular the video is, the more that their hatred of it will be like, I hate that the only word I can think of here is embiggened, large and made bigger. Amplified, that's what I was reaching for, yeah. Now, if you download that app, it also, the app comes, I thought this was going to be more difficult to do. I thought I was going to have to do mathematics with it, but I downloaded it, and I looked at the raw data, and it told me that there were 900,000 dislikes on the latest Odyssey trailer, but the actual amount of dislikes it was extrapolating from in the app was 70,000. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how many people disliked the actual trailer, but it would have to be more than 800,000 for it to be a representative like to dislike ratio. The only likes and dislikes we actually know about confirmed are there were 70,000 dislikes. Yeah, I was going to say I can look through my actual ones and see if it's accurate or not accurate. Well. If I stand close enough in here, am I safe? Oh, core blimey, I am. Would you believe it? What are you doing, buddy? What are you shooting that way? Uh-oh. Okay, that's good. Let's stick... Oh, no. It's coming back. YouTube dislike... See, that's the beautiful thing as well, right? Someone was literally like... They're going to point to the box office returns and the review scores, and they're going to say, this movie was good and successful, but I want you to know this. I want you to have this in your back pocket. It was the most disliked YouTube trailer of all time. Who gives a fuck? They don't get paid by that. You can't eat likes and dislikes. Do you think they're going to be like, no, people didn't like the third trailer on the Universal Pictures YouTube page. I guess we'll give back all this millions of dollars we made from it. Chart for dinner. I didn't really think this through. The thing is, though, with the likes and dislikes of that, the way it was extrapolated, if there had been 10 times as many dislikes of users of the app, it would have said, like, likes and dislikes. It would have said the ratio, like, the actual number was the same. Same as if there were 10 times fewer likes and dislikes. Because it's just a ratio. not an actual number. You don't know what the number is. Funnily enough, they have their own conspiracy about fixed numbers. Not their own fixed numbers, but about Rotten Tomatoes audience scores. Because Rotten Tomatoes changed from allowing anyone to leave a review for a film to having a verified user score. Like, anyone can leave a review on it, but it don't, towards its verified audience score, it only counts people who are verified to have seen the movie. Now, what that means is you can't later brigade it. By a bunch of people who haven't seen it, you know? Balls. Getting past this thing's going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Okay. Let's do some swapping around. Boosts fire attacks. I have damage negation. I'm happy with that. Need to memorize that and that. Flame fortification. And then what we'll do is fire damage negation, and the fire damage on this is, yeah, there we are. Honestly, there's so much of it, I might even change the shield. Very good. Yeah, they want to be able to brigade it, and sites are like, no, you can't. Which, it makes sense from them, just from like a brigading sense, like, you know, I assure the studios don't like that people can, who haven't seen the movie, can come along and be like, I'm gonna ruin the score for this by botting it or whatever. But the misunderstanding of what the scores mean was crazy to me. I think Asmongold talked about this, and I saw someone else doing that as well. They looked up films which is like had an audience score, like a really high audience score, and one of them was like a kind of obscure like art film where the audience loved it, and they were like, you're telling me that this film, which no one has seen, is a better film than, and then they always say Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, you know, other films that, you know, they're allowed to think are good. Now, that's not what that means at all. It means the audience who saw that film liked it a lot. Now, I'm sure the audience who went to see that film liked it a lot. Because it's some fucking obscure film that people haven't seen. It doesn't mean that you have to think it's a better film. You didn't go and see the fucking film, which is why your opinion of it doesn't matter. There we go. And of course, the review of people, like Rotten Tomatoes score from people who've went and seen it is like high 90s, right? People like it. And then from people who haven't went and seen it, it's like low 50s. Critical drinker being asked to name his fit. Oh my god, really? Find that for me. I want that. You people are a treasure trove of knowledge about all these dickheads. I think I know a lot about them, but you lot collectively. Oh no. I'm not interested. I'm not looking. No, thank you. None today. I mean, that's shameful, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, fair enough, like, he's a dickhead, but he's known for being a critic.
Is because the things that you think are pandering to them are probably going to turn them off. There's a reason people, like, in the West are starting to draw more and more towards Korean or Japanese filmmaking. It's precisely because it's a bit different from what we get. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, what is the most recent Japanese film, or at least entertainment, that you enjoyed so far?
What am I thinking of? See, a lot of them would be older ones, like Old Boy, for example.
No.
I really enjoyed that one. I know it's not Japanese, but
there we go. He at least knows.
Yeah, probably stuff like that. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I really like that. I know that's like Chinese, I think. But yeah, like it's these films that have been kind of peppered throughout the past 10, 20 years that are now, I think, just starting to make more of an impact. I'm just trying to think of other stuff.
Oh, come on.
Like, for example,
Battle Royale.
Yes, Battle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They should have a pact, a blood pact, to never ask each other any questions. I'm surprised that he knew that he couldn't answer the question, at least. I am surprised. Fucking hell. I really like Japanese film, for example. Fucking blank. you've got to have something in the chamber if you've queued that up yourself. You know, you can't just invite that. Nice. Yeah, like Old Boy, Battle Royale, and Crouching Tiger are all old movies. Unless this is like a 20-year-old clip. Somehow. One Cut. I really liked One Cut of the Dead. That's a funny film. With a surprisingly heartwarming ending. You and Ash should watch Journal with Witch. Absolutely not. Do you think I'm going out of my way to make Ashley cry? Me and Ash also watched Ghost in the Shell. Recently. We watched the we had seen, I am actually going out my way to make Ashley cry, because I made her watch episode 2 of season 1 of Standalone Complex, which is the one with the big robot that goes home to see his parents. And that made Ashley cry. But then we watched the movie, because Ash had never seen it. And then we watched a couple of episodes of the new series, which is like more sort of manga faithful. Now, I've read the manga. I know the basic like happenings in it, and I've got to say, for episode 1, I was worried about episode 2. I was like, I know what happens in the second chapter of Ghost in the Shell, and how are they going to portray that exactly on screen? And thankfully, they didn't go all out with it. Masamune's a weird guy, eh? To be like, hey, I'm gonna make what is essentially one of the foundational pieces of art in a particular genre. And then, but I don't, that's not my passion. My passion is drawing naked, oily women. And that's the main thing I'm going to do going forward. That's just really strange. I mean, you know, he's living his truth, isn't he? It's funny though, like if you were like, oh wow, I like this, I'm going to look up some of the author's other works. That's just funny, I like it. Wasn't the Berserk. See, the Berserk guy was like the inverse of that, I think, in that he was like, the Ghost in the Shell guy was like 10% into his thing that he made and 90% into weird stuff. And I think the Berserk guy was 90-10 in the other direction, which is why the 10 came as more of a surprise when he was like, I'm going to take a break from Berserk and draw a manga about a wrestler getting peed on by a little girl or just something weird like that. I had a brief peruse. It was strange. Huh. Yeah, he made like a... the story seemed... It was like alien wrestling or something, but I believe the main character's wounds were healed in a way which does... Let's say it doesn't seem like that would work in reality, I'll say. Have you tried? I have not tried. I would probably end up in prison. So who can say? Maybe it does work. That's so good. For anyone who missed what just happened. I was hoping I could replicate it. My weapon just caught on a rock on the ground on an upswing, which was wonderful. Only in FromSoft games would something so specifically bullshit happen. I took rot off the bar. Alright then, come here. I don't think I've hit one of these yet. Wonder if we can creep up on it. No. Yes. Wow. Brilliant. All right. Like how there's now a bullshit one that can do spells as well. Aye. Managing cargo logistics in a pre-container well. You know what? Yeah. I think about that a lot because I have a bit of a video idea kicking around in my head about containers. that I've never made, but might one day. Because containers are a great way of explaining a lot of capitalism and labor dynamics, because it used to be such a huge job to unload and load ships, and then when that all got mechanized, there were a whole bunch of jobs vanished. Shite. It's all bastards all day in these ruins, isn't it? Ah. Just another one of them over there. Like, congrats, you beat one. By the way, here's his mate. It's just Gardener Spirit Ashfing, and I'm not even using those, so... If this log goes all the way to the wall, I'm gonna shit myself. It's not. Okay. What are these knights? These are... horn scent knights, aren't they? Who are, like, in touch with the crucible and can take on animal aspects. Something of that nature. Owl with mug? I legit thought that ional was a word, I just didn't know then. I was like, oh, I'll have to look that up. A bullshit of a bull. Right then. All we need to do is get... See, I say all we need to do, but it's... We're in bullshit hell again, aren't we? Now, I only know how to get around this by opening the thing on the ground and then jumping to that ledge over there. And I don't think I've... I mean, I'm just gonna have to take them on one by one, aren't I? It'll get bored of doing that and come to get me eventually. Oh, it's not going to, is it? I'm gonna have to fucking knife these idiots to death. Sorry I'm saying idiots so much today. Alright, just get rotted is the new plan. Oh, these things have so much health. Yep. That's gonna be tough. We're gonna need ranged options, because I can't outfight them up close. They move too fast. And I can't outfight them at range when they can do that attack. So I need more than a limited amount of knives. I'm gonna put lightning spear and black flame on the bar. However, I'm not. Gonna do that right now. Okay, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Sorry I was late and moved the day. Apologies. I'll be back tomorrow at the regular time, unless I announce otherwise. If anyone happens to know what all these books are, let me know, because I've totally forgotten. Yeah. And then hang around for a minute, and we'll raid someone. Who are we gonna raid, eh? Let's see. He made us playing Resident Evil 2. Wonderful. And yes, tomorrow then. Farewell.